It's good, good. That's good. This the 4 hour candle just closed. That 4 hour candle closed disgusting. Okay. Let's have a look at the markets today. It's gonna be a quick stream since something came up, so I had to move it earlier. And New is streaming as well in like an hour. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go over what's it called? I wanted to go over BT, I wanted to go over ETH, and then we can do some corner quests. Because in general, I think this is the first stream since the giant market crash we had. So I want to go over that for a bit, and then we can get onto the requests. Where can I find the stream recordings? It's right over here. Let me link it. Everyone has a separate section there, so you can find it over there in their channels. Okay, so let's start going over the markets. First thing I wanted to go over is that obviously the giant wick that we had. Now, I'm gonna do this in a few parts. First of all, we should have been short. It was obvious in the end, but it is what it is. That's hindsight, right? But second of all, what I want to showcase is something to look out for next. So, in general, and a lot of charts look like this, because a lot of charts look like Bitcoin's chart, because it dictates the entire market, right? In general, now that we have wicked this far, we have completed a bullish harmonic right there. Now for this harmonic, those who that have been in my stream for a while might already know, the targets are always going to be your A2D 0.382 and 0.618. After these targets, it is possible to go back lower. So, judging by that, even though this harmonic is here, it is possible to go back lower, to go back to that D point. Now, I don't think that is going to happen, but hey, we should be prepared for everything, right? It is possible that we go lower. Now, I think it is very important to note during times like these, and to keep a little mental note as to what actually moves the markets. Because no matter what system you trade, there's going to be a few factors that are the same across every system, because there's only a few things that truly matter in the market. One of those is volume and liquidity. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a very strong resistance. So let's go to this region again. Let's say you have a very strong resistance. So apparently, because we rejected here so many times, apparently these levels were really strong. Now, what you need to break through resistance levels is you need one of two things. One, you need people to market buy. You need people to step in when you are actually at that level and just hit market buy to push you through resistance. However, no one wants to do that. For good reason. You should not be buying up here, right? That is very stupid. So that doesn't often happen. That is usually not how you break levels of resistance. The other way you can break them is through passive orders. Now, passive orders can exist out of two things. Wait, is it only stuck for you, Winter, or do others have it as well? Yeah, what's up, Caleb? Video's fine for everyone else? It's good for me. Okay, you probably just have to restart then. Okay, so the other way we can push through levels is through passive orders. There are two types of passive orders. One of them is just a regular limit order. So let's say you want to buy spot BTC right there. You put a limit order right there, and that is going to be a passive order. So when price gets there, you are buying. That is one of the ways, but you don't get through liquidity that way. That is how you hold supports, right? And that is how sell orders over here could keep it as resistance. Now, the other kind of passive orders we have are stop losses. And the reason why that's so important is because stop losses are always in the opposite direction of what the position is. So if a ton of people have been shorting this resistance the entire time, which they have, right? Because you have multiple wick rejections in these areas. So there are shorts in this area. If a ton of people have shorts in that area, and you get to that area, well, where are those stop losses going to be? Let's say you shorted right over here, right? Great entry. Absolutely fantastic. There's a few places that people usually put their stop losses. One is right above the wick. Now, this one is very risky. There's not going to be a lot of people that have their stop loss there, but it's possible. Two, right above the previous wick. And third, right above, in this case, the all-time high wick. Those are the most common places to put stop losses. And the last one being at entry. So, in cases like these, what often moves the market is whenever the markets get close to these levels, there's going to be very big either institutions or liquidity or liquidation groups or anything similar that whenever you get close to these levels, they will simply market buy into market sell. And the difference is going to be forced liquidations. That's going to be the stop losses. And then they either sell or they don't, and they let it break through. This is something that very often happens. And this is usually how you break levels. You usually break levels by getting close to a lot of liquidity and having people market buy and either scalp the difference or just letting it break through. That is what happened here as well. Now, the reason why that is important is because that showcases, hey, these passive orders, if they are shorts, a stop loss, because a short is essentially a sell, right? A stop loss on a short is going to be a buy. That is very important to know in events like these. So when we go back to the current market state, what happened over here was essentially a consequence of that, but just in the other direction, on a lot of altcoins as well, right? These are liquidations, essentially. And something very important to note is after these kind of really big liquidations happen, markets often look for the next place of liquidity. So if it's only a small liquidation, it could easily keep going down. However, the liquidation we had was not only the biggest liquidation that crypto has seen, it was the biggest liquidation crypto has seen, but an estimated of 5 times as much. Because the first numbers came out at 2 billion, but like the Bybit CEO or something gave an estimate of, hey, it should be somewhere around 10 billion, which is a ridiculous amount. And all of this has been long-sided liquidations, only longs, because, well, this doesn't stop out any shorts, right? So when 10 billion gets liquidated from the market, just like that, where would the liquidity be? Because clearly, looking at the charts, well, 10 billion worth of longs got wiped out. There's not going to be a lot of longs left. And you can see that in every kind of channel as well. You can see it on Twitter, in Discord servers, etc. There's not a lot of longs left. Because a lot of people are now very, very bearish. Because, well, just look at what alts went through. I can go to a random alt and go to ARB and just look at that. It just got completely nuked over the time span of a few minutes. Or if we go to ETH, where's ETH? If you go to ETH, just look at that. There is not a lot of longs left. So, where is the liquidity? Well, the liquidity is now up. That is what I wanted to go to. Essentially, all of the shorts are intact. Because these wicks didn't considerably take the previous wick. We had a very nasty wick right now, right, due to the news. But in general, these wicks didn't take the previous wicks. There should be a lot of shorts up here. And mostly, there are no longs left. After 10 billion of liquidations, there is not a lot of reason to go lower. So the reason why I wanted to say that is because I know that sentiment is very, very bad right now. And I go to every Discord server and I see that people are only looking for shorts. And in general, people are calling for there not being an alt season and the bear market start and whatever. Always happens in these types of events, right? I want to highlight that because when you have 10 billion worth of long liquidations, when you have such an insane event like this, there is not a lot of reason to actually be bearish. after so many liquidations, the market really doesn't have a lot of reasons to go down. And that doesn't count for every coin, right? Like individual coins can go down. BTC dominance can still go up. But looking at Bitcoin specifically, there is not a lot of reason for Bitcoin to go lower. You can make like an argument for like, hey, maybe we fill the wick, we go to 50% or whatever. Sure, you can make arguments for that, but there is no significant argument to be made for us actually just going lower. There's very little reason to do that. So I wanted to mention that because I think Discord's way too bearish. I think a lot of people are way too bearish. There is not a lot of reason to assume that we actually go lower. We have that much liquidity left, there's a lot of reason to assume that you go higher. There is not a lot of reason to assume to go lower. That was good, Rio. Good seeing you. And I wanted to say that on ETH as well. I mean, just look at that. It even, on a lot of charts, it even wicked the previous wick. On a lot of perpetual charts, this is not a perpetual chart. It even wicked this one. There's no longs left. And we might be building some right now, right, in this region. We could easily just wick lower and then go higher. But there's no significant reason to say we're just going to go lower. So for BTC, for that reason, I think, because I drew the harmonic earlier as well, right? I think we could get back to this level. I think, because this harmonic specifically has two levels, has one at the 886 and one at the 786. So let me, 786, and I don't have an 886 on it, I think. It's like that. I think we could tap one of these. I think it's possible, but I doubt it. I'm just gonna mark out the 618 as well. No, okay. That's not holding. That's not getting respected at all. Yeah, so I would keep it to the 786 and 886. I think we could tap these. I don't think it happens, but it's possible. But in general, after that, I would be looking for higher. Now, how much higher would I look? I haven't been on the charts today, so I'm just... Yeah, okay, there's a really nice currently there. I would look somewhere in this region. And this B point actually made a really nice ratio. It's very close to 0.618. So when we have an X to B, 0.618, and our A to C is essentially just below 1, you usually get a Gartley, and Gartley is complete at the 786 right over there, and the 886. So I have one level right over there, and the other one would be at the 886. So in general, for BTC, these are the levels I'm looking at. Now, if we get there, I think we do have reasons to short. But until we are, I don't think there's a lot of reason to actually short BTC. You can do very low time frame scalps, right? That makes sense. But in general, this just looks really good for higher. And in the context of liquidity, this looks really good for higher. Now, when we get there, we might want to short. We don't know that yet. But for now, I don't think there's a reason to short. I think there's a lot of reason to be long. Or in general, be net positive. Would you look to long BTC? I wouldn't long it here. Because the risk reward isn't that good. Wait 1 second. Yeah, I wouldn't long it here because the risk reward isn't that good, right? You would have to have like these types of stops, and that is just way too wide for my liking. And your risk reward would literally be 1.1, right? So I wouldn't long here. But I do think this plays out more often than not. This is just not a position I would look to take. In general, what I would look at if I wanted to long, well, actually, let's do that. I'll pose this one first, and then go on to a lower time frame. If I wanted to long, what I would do is we have our thesis, right? We went on to the daily, to the 4 hour, something like that, and we have a thesis now. So we know what direction we're looking at. In general, we're looking at higher, but we don't know where we want to long. So I would go on to a lower time frame now. And usually I would do this on a separate chart, right? So I'm just gonna put this in a group and hide it. Usually I would do this on a separate chart, but I would go into a lower time frame and try and see, hey, can I find any levels over here? So because I trade harmonics, I would always start with my X to A, right? And I'm just gonna look at these significant swing lows and see, hey, which one forms a valid harmonic. So we have one over here. This would be 0.382. A 0.382 can only be a bad or an alt bad, so that would go to the 886. Something like that. In this case, since we might actually get a position, I'll take a bit more time and mark them out a bit more carefully. Second one over there. You would have a bad right there, and an alt bad at the 113. No, I don't think we get there, but hey, it's always possible. And 3.618 right there. So that will be option 1. However, we also have higher option because there's a Garty as well. So second one, let me remove this. Second one is if we draw that same x to a, what you will see at like kind of the low of this round the bottom is that this forms a 0.618. So if this is your C point, and this could very easily go higher, right? Unless it goes like above this point, it's still valid. This isn't going to change. So if this is your C point, I would look at the 786 and the 886. Same thing as before. 0.618 x2b forms a Gartley. So we look at the 786 and the 886. So in general, when we do that, and I will mark this out as one big box. Right, when we do that, we see that we have kind of this overlapping area. We have two harmonics here. We have one bad right there, and we have a Gartley. So the white one being the bad and the green one being a Gartley. We have two of them in almost the exact same spot. To the point where, hey, this area has both of them. So I think this, if we ever get there, I think this would be a massive area of interest to log. I think this would be a really good area of interest simply because you have two harmonics that form at the exact same spot. This looks really good. Now, this doesn't mean we have to go there. Harmonics don't work that way. You don't have to go there after you form a C point. It could easily go higher. But if we go there, I think this is a really nice area of interest for logs. And that should also be very confluential with this. I think if we pull a volume profile over the entire range, yeah, that should also be in confluence with very area low. So in general, this is what I would look at. You have your very area low over here as well. You have a bad and a deep Gartley. You do have your point of control over here. We are above that at the moment. So I would say if we lose this point of control, this one, this white line in the middle, if we lose that, I think that's when we go to the Gartley, the bad, and the very area low. And I think this is a very nice area to long. So a very safe way to do it would probably be like this. Take it up like that. We could either take it to the very area high, or we take it to that harmonic we drew earlier. I think it was this one. No. Where is it? This one. Yeah, I would take it up till that point. So that is essentially what I would be looking for. If I was looking for longs right now, I don't think you have an entry here. You can maybe get one if you get back to that point of control and flip it to support again. But in general, I would prefer to look for this area. So for BTC, that is what I would look at. And then if we get here, maybe we short. Now I will say, I know some people, whenever they chart things on stream, they also like take the actual plays. I don't take my stream plays. If I take a play, I will put it in my channel. So don't blindly take this and expect updates, because I won't update this unless I say I will take it. But this is the area I would look for on BTC. And I do think that this is the lowest area you can go. Maybe you do wick this somehow, but I very highly doubt it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of longs left, because sentiment is very bad. Markets look pretty good. Nothing has really changed. And even during that news pump, hourly structure switched back to bullish, right? this was your previous hourly high, and we close candles above it. So this is now likely going to start uptrending. So in general, I don't think we get this, but there's always a chance. I do think that's more likely. So this is what I would look at. And I will also note that you do have a bunch of wicks here right at the value area high. So this is going to be a really good TP zone. I haven't even marked the TPs yet. Let me do that. This is going to be a TP. This one as well. And this one's probably going to be your final TP. Something like that. Let me change that. Okay, so that's it for BT. That's what I would look at. I still think we go higher, but hey, maybe we get lower. This would be a really nice area to long if we do. Okay, now for ETH, I'm going to be honest. ETH is entirely unchartable. This chart is terrible. That wick went so low that you have, yeah, your levels are down there. So this is entirely unchartable. I cannot do this. I do think same reasoning as BTC though. I do think you go higher, not only because we think BTC goes higher, but you also just have this bullish harmonic here that we tapped, and I went to TP1. But in general, this is not actionable. Ethereum, in my eyes, is not actionable until you actually get back to 2300 somehow, which is like a 20% drop, right? I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The only argument you can actually make for that is kind of fill the wick scenario, but you don't have to fill the wick. So this chart, I think it looks good, same reasoning as BTC, but I wouldn't actually look to trade this. I think this is one of those situations where if you are bullish in Ethereum, I think you can get spot. I think this is a decent area to get spot, right? For longer term. But for leverage trading, I would look for Ethereum related things. I would look for like OP, LDO, ENA. I think especially LDO is really nice to trade. It's a lot of volume and the coin is really strong. But Ethereum itself is really hard to trade in this area. Especially because, look at this, you're so far away from the wicks. There's so little to do here. So, with that being said, do we have any coin suggestions? We can take a look at those. I'll look at Say. Say Ondo Sol. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at Sol first because I know what's it called, because I already have a Sol chart. Let's see if it's this one. No, okay. Adam, if it's possible. Yeah, I can do Adam as well. Okay, so Sol, I will go to my macro chart first to show you my macro idea of Sol. I will say, and I know this chart is chaotic, so bear with me for a bit. I will say, let me actually hide this one. Sol is in a very, very bad spot, macro-wise. This chart, it looks terrible. This is genuinely a macro top chart. And the reason why I say that is because you have a very big macro harmonic right there, right? This is a very big anti-bat. On top of that, you swept the previous high that had a lot of shorts on top of it, and closed below, came back to retest it, closed below again. That reaction after tapping such a macro level is really bad. Now, on a smaller time frame, we did tap this fan right over there, which is really nice, and we saw a good reaction off of it. But we didn't even take the liquidity lower, and we still have the problem that we only just react to that level. We are still dropping levels in the fan. We're dropping levels in harmonics. This looks really bad. So I will say, I think Solana looks absolutely terrible on a high time frame. I think the top is in, quite frankly. I think maybe if BTC and ETH start going on another run, maybe you get the butterfly, but I think chances are very, very low. And the main reason for that is this. Not everyone has seen this chart probably, but Solana has a very big issue in that Solana is extremely inflated. There were a lot of token unlocks, so we are incredibly inflated. When we sort by market cap, Solana is already way above its previous all-time high. We peaked at 80% above all-time high. When we compare that to the USDT chart, when we go back, it was 77%. That means compared to the previous cycle top, we have already reached $460 because there have been so many unlocks on Solana that the market cap is just so much higher because there's so many more tokens circulating. Yeah, Solana is genuinely a VC shitcoin in the same way that actual VC shitcoins are, right? And Solana just gets used way more, so it doesn't get categorized as one, but it has the same issues. There's way too many unlocks. Because just compare this. This is where we actually top. This is our current all-time high for Solana. But when you simply take the market cap and look at where we top compared to the market cap compared to our previous all-time high, that would be $460. Solana has gotten way higher than people realize because people don't realize that the market cap is so incredibly inflated. So this is one of the reasons why this helps with why I think Solana is actually just topped. The charts look absolutely terrible. And the market cap is incredibly inflated. Solana has gone so high already. So I wanted to get that out of the way, and now we can take a look at the actual chart. So when we look on a lower time frame, we have a very nice bearish guard leaf forming. Once again, 618x2b. That brings us to the 786 right there, which is also a very nice 1272. This is a very good level. So essentially, we have that 786 right over there, and a 1272 right there. This is the area I would look for shorts. Oh, wrong one. This is the area I would look at, and the area I am looking at. If we get there again, I will probably be looking at Solana shorts. And we do also have a deep guard lead right over here, which is a bit more wide. So there's a good chance I make this one a bit wider stops and try to make it a swing in the end. But in general, this one I'm looking at for Solana. I'm not looking for longs because I think there's way better longs out there. I think you have a lot of reason to believe that Sol doesn't go significantly higher. So if the market gets here, I'm going to look at shorts. So that's going to be either at this deep guard, the guard or the deep guard. It would be something like this, but this is like a really, really wide play, so I'm not sure if I would take it like this. There's a good chance I would just look for a reaction and try and put stops above the wick instead. Or alternatively, if we don't get that, just short the deep guard instead. So this is one I will likely take, will likely signal, and this is one I will only take conditionally. I'll put an arrow here in case people just just look for a channel, look for plays. So that's what I would look at for Solana. I'm not sure if it gets there. It could. It very well could. If it gets there, I would short. Okay. Say. Let's see. That was the one we had from the previous stream. Actually got a really nice entry. Stops were almost guessed perfectly as well. Because that that was during the stream. It said you just put that above the wick. So it should have been here. Nice. Okay, let's look at say. We are in a positional say. Our average is like 0.23 or something. We're only 50% allocated. So okay, so it's because say looks a lot like a lot of coins. So when we look at these types of charts, and almost every altcoin has this right now, is you will have a very significant low somewhere to the left in August, because that's where our previous flush was, right? That was, I think, the GPI carry trade. And almost every coin swept that low and closed above. Now, this is a very good sign in general. This is a very high time frame SFP, right? Or well, we still need to close like the high time frame ones. We still need to close the weekly. But in general, on the daily, this is a very nice SFP, very good sweep. And not only that, but the individual candle closed really well. This is an absolute textbook hammer candle. It's a really good reversal candle. So, in general, these coins look really, really good. This long would have made a lot of sense. Now, you might have noticed that I didn't call this long, and not a single analyst did. That's the reason because, well, this is a very wide stop, and after these really massive liquidation events, what you usually have is, so you get this really massive breakdown, right? What you usually have is you get this instant buyback, and you either get a very good close or a bad close. If you get a bad close, you just go low, right? End of the story. If you get a good close, what will often happen is price will just grind down like this. And it will never actually take the highs. Like it will never get above these highs to stop out the shorts. This is just accumulating shorts. This is what we talked about at the start of the stream as well. When you grind down like this, you're making a lot of shorts that all put their stops like above these highs. So when you get like one push, you just start that liquidation event where the stop losses are just going to trigger each other, which makes the initial push really easy. Yeah, I did ETH already, but ETH's really short. It's essentially just the same thing as BTC, but with the added bonus that it just doesn't look actionable at all, because significant levels are so much lower. I do think it goes higher though, if that's what you're after. So this is what will very often happen after these massive crashes, right? And that's what's happening on that is what's happening on these types of coins as well. And almost every altcoin will look like this. Most altcoins look like this. You had that massive event after the close, daily close over here, and you just start grinding down. In general, this could be the first sign of a reversal, right? This is your first area where you go significantly lower, consolidate a bit, go a bit higher, consolidate a bit, break above that, and now you're retesting it. This could be the first area where you say, okay, now we're showing strength. It could be. This is not significant enough for me to actually take a position, but you have a good argument for it. So in general, I think this looks good. I think this SFE trade would still be valid. There's no way I would take this because the RR was really bad, right? So we didn't take it. But this idea is still valid. The SFP is still there. So what I would wait for is wait for that lower time frame confirmation, and this could be the start of it, and then take a position based on that. So there are two ways to approach it. First way to approach it would just be, hey, if that SFP is still valid, why would I not just take it right now? That is valid. That makes sense. I don't think this is the best approach, but I think this works. This would be a valid approach. Now, that will be the first one. The second one is what I'm waiting for currently on a lot of coins. And that is, I am waiting for significant patterns to form. I am waiting for either a significant structure shift or for harmonics to be tapped and formed. And that's what I'm going to enter. So we once again have that 0.382 right there. So this would be the first level I'm looking for. Now, I don't think we get there. I would look for longs here if we do. The second level I was looking at, is one that we only recently formed after we tapped that 618. So the C point could be anywhere, right? It could be right here. It could be right here. We don't know. There's a massive box here where it could be. However, assuming that C is currently in, it will bring us at the 786, which is almost exactly the previous wick, right? From right over there. So I think this would be a very, very nice level to long if we get it. Because that would retest that previous wick. It would take out like this part of late longers, everyone that long during the news. And it would be a really nice harmonic completion. So in general, I would look at something like this. It's slightly higher because it's 1.642, but this is what I would look for. And I think if you do get this is a really nice level. So something like that, and honestly, with such a high, such a significant liquidity wick made, I would just put it right there and take it up higher. At least up till there, but I will probably try to turn this into a swing. You're like getting into really good time frame alignment levels here, where if this weekly closes well, you're gonna have a weekly SFP. You already have a daily SFP, so there's no reason to only assume 1 hour targets. So I would probably just take it up to the first significant swing high, something like this. But you would obviously have to be on the way. So yeah, this is what I would look at per se. Something like this, and this is mostly derived off of that daily SFP and just lower time frame harmonics. Hey, what's up? Yeah, on those next. And then already quits at that. Let's take a look at on though. Ooh, already have to shard it. Ooh, chaos. Good chaos though. It's a nice place. I'll keep the fans for a bit because we're gonna zoom in anyway, so it won't be as chaotic. But I'll keep the fans. Okay, so Ondo has there's two sides to Ondo. Number one is you have a very high time frame shark here. And I will already say beforehand, I don't think this ever gets hit. I do not think Ondo will ever get there. But it is there. I cannot remove the fibs. So even though I don't think it gets hit, I'm going to mark it because it's possible. I'm going to pull this up to the 1.618. It's right there. So I'm going to keep this here. I don't think this gets hit. But hey, it's there. And it could even be lower, right? It could be all the way to the 113 right over there. But there's no way you see Ondo at 36 cents. I doubt it. Anyway, so this is there. I don't think it gets hit. But it is important to consider because if we lose this B point, technically it is valid. I was looking at this. Yeah, there's a Leo there as well. That's correct. If you put it slightly to the left, that is almost going to be an exact 0.5. Judge it, taking it from that. It's really nice. This in general is a really good level. So I will say, if we ever get there, if we actually ever do get to the shark or the bat. Oh wait, it's Guardy if I pull it from this. Did that sweep? I don't think that swept. Yeah, so it's a bat if you pull it like this. It is a Guardy if you put the B point there. Long story short, you can get so many levels on this chart. This chart is very confluent. Now, all of those levels point over here. It is possible, even if it's unlikely, so it is important to consider. Now, that being said, let's look at the lower time frames. In general, we seem to just be ranging in between these fans, right? Now, oh, actually, I don't like this, actually. I was gonna say this probably looks good for higher in a bit, but no, it doesn't. You have actually a very nice bearish bat here that we reacted off of, and then a bearish already closed as well. You did already react, but I still wouldn't be looking to long this right now. That's sad. Slightly too late. Okay, but we already did tap to 0.382. You see how quick he saw that pad? It comes with time. You guys, I think first group of students I had, I think they thought I was joking. But genuinely, if you chart enough harmonics, you will look at a chart like this and you will see a bunch of patterns. Like, I see a lot of patterns here. There's a bat right here as well, for example, but you can draw it as a shark if you do it like this. This is going to be 0.314 or something, though. This is going to be a bit too low. You can probably get a very sketchy butterfly if you draw it like this. But yeah, this ratio is not it. You will see a lot if you chart enough harmonics. At some point, you don't even need to put them on a chart anymore. But anyway, with that, Either way, we have already tapped that TP1. And since we have tapped that TP1, we can do two things. One, we could just go lower. That's possible. Two is something called a type 1 to a type 2. TP1 is what we refer to as T1. And that obviously stands for TP. It also stands for terminal. Doesn't matter. Either way, what that says is, hey, if you have a valid harmonic right there, and you react to it, and you hit that 0.382, there is a good chance that you go back above, you go and tap that harmonic again, and then if you sweep your highs or your X point, it is very likely to go lower to that 618, to that TP2. That is what we call a type 1 to a type 2. I have a little cheat sheet. It is this one, but just the other way around because we're looking at a bearish harmonic. When you get to that D point, hit your TP1, go back, sweep your D point, and then go for that TP2. That is essentially what we're seeing right here. So if we sweep this high, and I would absolutely wait for a sweep, especially because Londo is a very strong coin. If we sweep these highs and close below, that is when I would look for a short. So that would be something like this, but this has to be on a sweep. It is very important, because otherwise there's a good chance you just get blasted out. Because this harmonic is already completed, right? We've already had TP1, we had the initial reaction. So there is a chance it just goes higher. If it doesn't, and if you get that sweep, I think this is good for a short. So that's what I would look at. But in general, I think Ono goes higher. There's just lower time frame stuff. I still what's it called? I have still only sold a little over my initials from my original back down there, because I think this coin goes a lot higher. On a very high time frame, there's no reason to be bearish on this coin. It's on by. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Because just looking at it in the most simple way possible, right? All you're doing is form that initial low, broke out of it. And on a high time frame, this is just an uptrend. In general, on a high time frame, because what it just is very low time frame stuff, right? On a low time frame, I think you have a lot of reason to believe slightly higher than lower. On a high time frame, this just looks good. There's a lot of reason to assume that this chart just goes higher, because we have essentially we wicked out all of these lows. We wicked this low. We essentially retested this area, right? And we're just uptrending. So I think this chart goes higher in general, but on a low time frame, I would look for shorts. And if you actually do go lower, I would also look for new long positions. And maybe if we do go lower, you do get into that bat that I talked about earlier. The only problem with that bat is that A2C just kind of sucks. Yeah, the A2C kind of sucks. It's slightly outside of my tolerance. So I'll just go for a shark instead. Both of these, as I explained before I drew them, both of these are a bit sketchy. Kind of sucks. Either way, if we get it, this is probably a good level to look at. I don't think we do. In general, I would just wait for a bit more time to form. I would wait for more to form on this chart and then look at it. Okay, we had Atom and Bonk. Let's hope for sure. Let's look at Atom. Atom, and it's very sad, has dropped back into this range. This isn't good. We have the same arguments for this coin for upside as we have for literally every coin. You have very high time from SFPs, closed way above, even at a really good bullish close. You have all of those arguments. But it did drop back below the range. I do think we can easily get a retest of this. And that retest is going to decide if it's going to go higher or not. but this chart looks significantly worse now that we've lost this level. The Atom chart looked really good. Like, actually really, really good for a while. Because you would just have this. And we were reclaiming this area after deviating below, right? We had this initial range, got a little deviation, came back above, came back to retest it. This looked really good. This chart was amazing. But now that we've dropped back below into this range, that makes it look so much worse. So I am not that interested in Atom anymore. If this was truly a coin that was going to start running now, instead of this eternal downtrend, we would have kept this level. If it was truly going to run and it truly had demand, we would have kept this level. But we didn't. We lost it. So I don't like this coin that much anymore. So we still have like one Atom position open. Because we didn't get a chance to cut it. It just nuked right through. I am probably just going to close it the moment we get to that level again. There's a good chance we just close it the moment we get there. But we're going to wait for the retest first. Now, with that being said, as of now, those look pretty good right over here. As of now, you have a lot of things that you have on every other coin, right? You have that high time frame harmonic, X to B 0.5, that is going to be a bad. So we're going to put that at the 886 right there. If we draw the 886 like that. And I'm just going to draw that B point as well. 224. Do I have it on this one? No. No. I was looking at Atom this morning. In general, the conclusion I got to is if we flip this little box into support, I would be interested in scalp longs. Because you do have this bat here after taking a lot of liquidity. So if you actually do flip this to support, I would look at something like this. In general, that's what I'm looking at for Atom. I've already charted this, so it's a very, very simple one. I think it goes higher, but I don't think this is going to be one of the major runners for the next part of the cycle. We had a lot of reasons to believe that, but we lost the level we should have kept, so there's no reason for that anymore. Fartcoin. Well, Fartcoin finally tapped that level that we talked about on the previous stream. Got a really nice bounce, actually. A 30% bounce. 30% bounce of the empty chart. That's really nice. We honestly, this 4-hour candle looks terrible. It's a really bad candle. I think this just goes lower. I would not rebid this, even if we get there. This candle looks terrible, and you only... Honestly, this is a pretty small reaction. I think this looks really bad, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I'll look at FTM later. That's good. Look, I'm gonna be honest. Some memes look decent. You can make arguments for a lot of meme coins. Fartcoin is not one of them. Fartcoin should have kept this range right here. This X point should have never been lost. We had a level chance to like prove the deviation, but all we did was just retest. And we lost this previous POC again. Okay, look at the other bit. The real Bitcoin. That's what I mean. So honestly, I think this looks really bad. I'm gonna be honest. I think this looks terrible. I wouldn't touch this anymore. This is really not what you want to see. If you really like this coin, you can probably look for a long here, but this is like an incredibly risky call. I would absolutely not look to take this. Maybe take it up till there. I want to take it. I think this chart looks really bad. I would... Honestly, do I even have it on any of my lists? I don't think so. I would have deleted it if I had. I think this looks terrible. I wouldn't touch it anymore. And you can make like some targets for upside, but it's very unlikely to play out. So I wouldn't. I'm not gonna pose this because I don't want people to actually take this. I think this just goes lower. Like, just gonna go on to an eternal grind lower, like Pop kind of whiffed it and Brad. Okay, so I'll do Rose, I'll do FTM, and then the other Bitcoin, or the real Bitcoin. Very big falling wedge pattern of Hardcoin. This is not a falling wedge. Even judging by traditional chart patterns, I personally do them a bit different, right? This is just a downwards channel. And the reason for that is because this line is... These two are going to be parallel. This is not necessarily tightening. Because you can't really draw it like this. This doesn't make any sense. Maybe, but it only has 2 touches, right? From the February high. End of February high. Well, we're not even there yet. You're living in the future or what? Vajaya, brother. That is gonna be in 2 weeks. Well, maybe in 2 weeks we have. Well, you know what? You might be right. In 2 weeks, maybe. Okay, so you're saying from the end of January, we zoom in like that. Nah, it's kind of only 2 touches, right? You can make an argument for it. I honestly wouldn't. Kind of. I wouldn't. I think the bad market structure and price action is like it kind of outweighs this pattern, because this pattern you only have 2 touches and this is a deviation. So 2 touches and a deviation, I wouldn't count this line valid. The top one. And the price action and the candle close are very clearly bearish. So I would absolutely outweigh that over this pattern. Let's hear you add that meme dude back to it. If you send it, I will. The rule people go by is that a trend line needs 3 touches to be valid. I don't use trend lines or chart patterns, right? But that's what people go by. Observation Aki's just looking into the future. Okay, let's look at Rose. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Fartcoin. I don't think that's worth the effort anymore. Rose back here looked so good. Honestly, it did play out. And just nuked after. That's sad. Okay, let me... It's a very old chart, but I didn't even use the boxes back then. Yeah, look at it. That's how I used to draw the PRZs. Pure chaos. Well, to be fair, it's kind of nice to have it this light, this transparent. Okay, so what I would look at is this. Did this wick everything? Not on this chart. Wait. Let's see. It did not. That is very, very sad. I really would have liked it if this wicked, but it didn't. That sucks. Okay, yeah, so you can make an argument for an SFP on this low. That's possible. I really hate that this didn't touch. I think this is going to revisit that in the future. It's really hard to judge if it's going to do that, but I wouldn't count it as a significant sweep this way, because you left the actual swing low intact. Which kind of sucks, because now you either front ran it, which is really good, or you left liquidity behind, which is really bad. It's one of the two. It's kind of... I don't like that at all. Now, we should... No, that's not valid. I think you have a crab here. Yeah, you front ran this as well. That sucks. Yeah, I wouldn't, what's it called? I think this goes lower, probably. It does look good if it goes lower, though. That's the difference. Fart coin just look bad. This coin looks good if it goes lower. Because you do have a 4.236 to 1.618 here, so you do have an argument once you get there. And once you do, you actually do sweep a lot of significant levels. I don't even have this. Yeah, so you have a 4.236 to a 1.618 on that X2A. Oh, this one. And you have a very significant swing low there. If we somehow get there, and you guys know what I think about a general market, so I don't think we do, but I cannot remove the fibs. If we somehow get there, I think this would be a very nice level to bid. This would be a very nice level to bid. If we actually get there, that would be fantastic. But I don't know if we do. But simply put, because we left this low intact, this is not one of the coins I'm interested in, because there are so many coins that did sweep that low and then prove that they still belong above it, while this coin didn't. So even if this goes higher, I think other coins have like a higher chance to go higher or are gonna run harder. Now, this would entirely change if we do wick this and then close above again. That would entirely change the story. So I think this would be a really nice level to long. And you just put something like that. I can't see to the left on this one. Is there anything there? No, not that. Oh, that would actually sweep all-time low as well. Yeah, what's all-time low at? 29678. Oh yeah, that would sweep all-time low actually. I'm just charting it into all-time low. Okay, so high time frame, this is what I would look at. I think this would be a really nice long actually. You sweep all-time low and you go above. That's high time frame. Now, wait, let me post that. Now low time frame. Oh, the perpetual chart. Yeah, low time frame. This also went deeper than the others. The others went to 6.8. It's like a 6.5. Yeah, 655. This is technically invalid for Gartley, so I'm not gonna draw this. It's exactly within tolerance. That's the exact number, the lowest it's allowed to be. 886 to 786. Where are my numbers? I'm doing this on a random ass layout. Wait. Seven eight six and 886. Okay. On a low time frame, same story as the other coins. You're looking at either of these levels. Now, I don't like this. This coin went lower than the others, right? Every coin we've done today has had a 0.618 over here. This coin had a 0.655, which is too low. That's not valid. I don't like that. That's showing significant weakness. But you did retest this, which is nice, and you still have this. So, yeah, it's a bit sketchy, but if you get there, it would be worth a shot. If you see a good reaction, that would be really nice. I'm not sure if I would take it, but if you really want to get into a rose long, that's where I do it. Essentially, I think everything below these two gold lines is bearish. Everything above it is good. So if you flip this to support, maybe you look for longs. I think there's better options. You would look for something like this. Take it to that C point maybe. If you get below it, you could try to short it to that bat, to that PRZ. Just to the wide isn't great. I'm not sure if I would. Because you're getting like a 2 risk to the wide with the play you would actually want to take, like 2.2. So I'm not sure if it would. So you would have to take it like that, which is sketchy. This could just get wiped out. I wouldn't, I'm not looking to trade those. The only trade I would look to take is a long in this area. Something like that. This would be nice. As I explained earlier, I think this could wick. I think this could easily wick the low that's all the way to the left. If you do get this, you can probably take it up to this, but I doubt it. I don't think we get that. Okay. Oh, that's Tom. Oh, by the way, a little trick because we're looking at FTM. FTM rebranded to Sonic, right? Which, by the way, the ticker is SUSDT and not Sonic USDT. If you look at Sonic USDT, it's completely wrong. If you want to see the old chart, you go to the crypto chart, like the USD pair on the crypto chart, and it's still there. Do the same for Matic. There it is. Oh, we're there again. Wait, what? Oh, there's a good little coincidence. Yeah, I think this area on Matic is actually really actionable. Wait, hold up. Okay, so what I was looking for on Matic initially, and I only took this on spot. I didn't want to share this because it's incredibly risky. But swept this low, very close to a bullish harmonic, and we're once again testing it. If we actually break above this, this would look good. I'm gonna keep a mental note of Matic. Let's do FTM. But anyway, that's how you look at the old charts before and after the rebrand. So let me clear this. So I think last time I had a Matic request, we saw a really nice shark. I think it was a shark. But it's only going to be 1.06 or something. No. Oh wait, my eyes. My eyes are deceiving me. Oh, this looks good, actually. Shark. Let me draw this one out because I'm probably going to keep using this one. Because I do still like FTM, even though it's rebranded to a terrible ticker in SUSDT. So the lowest point of that shark is going to be your 886 and 2.618 ABCD. And highest one is going to be that 224. So this is going to be the shark. And then there's an anti-bat. It's such a white PRZ. Oh, I'm not even going to keep that point. This is a PRZ as well. I'm not going to mark that. Essentially, as long as you keep this box, this looks good. If we lose it, that would be really bad. So if you like this ticker and if you want to get it, that is going to be about a 10% stop loss from CMP. This is very actionable. If you lose this ticker, if you lose this box, you cut. If you get above it, you form like bullish structure, you can add. This is like one of those charts where you would just enter with like 50%, 40%, something like that. And you just keep the rest to add if you go deeper into this box or if you flip like market structure. This looks very good. I actually like this. As for targets, well, I'm old. My mechanics are gone. My training view mechanics, no. As for targets, these are the technical targets. Because it's a shark, 0.5 is very important as well. So not just the 382 and the 618, but also the 0.5. So yeah, I would play it like this, more or less. And then your actual soft stop is going to be flipping this to resistance. I like this. That was a good suggestion. Yeah, I'll mark it like that. So no matter how people look at it, they will find it. Okay, and last and absolutely least, Bitcoin. I think coin. Jesus Christ, man. You know what this reminds me of, actually? It's really curious. This reminds me of ENS. It reminds me of this. It reminds me. It's actually just doing this, and XRP as well. It reminds me of XRP. Well, you cannot tell me that this doesn't look similar. It's the same, like, kind of accumulation with just constant higher lows. Yeah, that here as well. Just the same accumulation, constant higher lows. Just really aggressive wicks to the upside, and then you just grind down rounded bottom. Aggressive. Same thing every time. What's the name of that currency? That's Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, and Inu. Also known as Bitcoin. That's the real Bitcoin right there. This is the one they're making a strategic reserve of. It isn't, by the way. It isn't for anyone new. Don't buy this ticket just because of that. It's a random ass meme point. Okay. Now, with that being said, this chart is probably the best looking meme coin right now. So I'm going to be honest, this doesn't look bad at all. Only going to draw 2 of them, because I know Neil's supposed to stream as well, so we're going to get off soon. I mean, there you are. That's your 1.6182886. You're literally right there. And then I should be drawing one more, right? I might as well draw it as well now. But these should be enough. Yeah, it's not going to change anything either way. Okay. So full port. I will neither confirm or deny this. My lawyer has advised me to shut up. No, don't full port it. No, I actually like this chart. Genuinely, I like this because this should be point of control as well. Yeah, it's very close. Now, this is a problem though. Point of control slightly above it. You would ideally want this to be in this area, because now if you take along a deep guardly, you have like kind of a musty P zone right above it. Because point of control is just a level you cannot ignore. It's a very significant level. Oh, this is a very popular one for Jai. But yeah, in general, you can, if you take this long, you're kind of gonna have the problem of the POC being right there. So I would, if you ever take this, I would only take it very light. And then add if you flip to support. But yeah, that is Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll get off. We'll get off. Double class now. Alright. Well, we went through all of the requests. So that is going to be it for me today. I had to do a little quick stream because, what's it called? Because I had to move it real quick. I think that is everything. I'm going to leave all of you to Neil. I saw Neil pop in already, so I think he's ready to start. Gonna end the recording and the class, and I will see everyone next week.